recording. Hold it up.
My ladies, good morning / afternoon.
I think 10:40 is still the morning, right?
I've been up since 7:30, so you tell me.
Oh my gosh. How late did you go to bed?
I went to sleep at like midnight, I think.
Oh, okay, that's not terrible. I thought
yeah. In case anyone wants to know, last night I got to go out kid free. Ashley and Tegan babysat for me, so me and Theo could go to a wedding. And I had some drinks, and then I was really tired.
You were like, yeah, party.
I swear, Stacy looked like Penelope from Bridgerton in her dress, and like her tits were just out. She looked amazing.
They were like up here, Chanel. Like, you know how they normally hang like right where they are right now? The dress pushed, they were like, it was amazing. It was, I'll post a photo.
I told Stacy I was like helping her get her dress on, and she was standing in a full-length mirror, and I was like standing kind of next to her in the doorway of her bathroom, and I just like caught a glimpse of her in her mirror, and then I turned and caught a glimpse of me in the bathroom mirror, and I was like, Stacy, you look like Cinderella.
Broke it. I was like,
Stacy looks like Cinderella. I look like a stable boy or something. Like, it was just like,
no, it was the before and after of Cinderella.
Yeah, that's what it looked like, the before and after. I was like, damn, I'm gonna stay away from a mirror today. Stacy looks amazing. We'll post photos.
And I felt super pretty because then Ashley took photos of me holding Julie Soto's book, Not Another Love Song. Because spoiler alert, we're doing a giveaway. Which people will see before this comes out, but I'm in that dress and I felt like a beautiful little angel out there.
Oh, I bet you did. I saw Jen, your friend that you went with, post the two of you guys, and yeah, you both looked amazing. So yeah. It was lovely. It
was lovely.
Oh my God. Now all I'm picturing is Ashley as like Cinderella scrubbing the floor, and then you being like Cinderella after she does the twirl.
Chanel, I was in these sweatpants and like this oversized off-white t-shirt with like my hair messed just up, like braces on full display. Like it was definitely ridiculous in the best way though.
Yeah, we like felt good for her, but you were like,
yeah,
damn.
And then I ordered Cheesecake Factory and ate a slice of cheesecake, and I felt better.
I was jealous. Cheesecake sounds amazing. When I came home, she's like, I'm taking my cheesecake and I'm going home. And I was like, okay.
Yeah, I wasn't leaving it.
Yeah, it was her time to shine.
It was.
Well, I'm happy for you. I'm happy you had a good time.
Thanks. It was good.
Yeah. Speaking of giveaway, do you want to talk about your giveaway that you won? It segues into our book.
How do you guys keep winning giveaways? Like, I don't understand.
You enter into 100 and then
100
win one.
Maybe that's my problem. I'm too lazy to enter into these giveaways. I'm like, I'm just not going to win anyways.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to brag, but I do enter a ton of giveaways like Chanel because I never win any. And then I finally win one, and it's probably my favorite one. So we all know that I love Jamison and Shea, and they have a sequel to this book that's coming out. And so this is the first one. I feed her to the beast, and the beast is me, and I won their giveaway. And so it's this beautiful, obviously the book is gorgeous, but it's signed. They signed it, and it's great.
I'm so jealous. Like,
and then it comes with this gorgeous art. Oh, this is my favorite one.
Wow.
It's just powerful. It's really powerful.
Who's the artist?
You
can shout them out.
Yes.
Well. See, that's my favorite one.
That's really cool.
Laura in the mirror.
In the mirror, yeah. That's super cool.
Oh, and then this is.
I mean, I do like that one too.
The whole cast, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll have to get back to you guys for the artist. It's with the paper, and I took the paper out, so I'm not sure. So I will find it, and
yeah, I was like, we can post,
shout them out,
like maybe in the show notes or something. We can put who the artist.
They do beautiful. But my favorite's this one with Ander, because
Stacey loves Ander.
He's if you haven't read the book, you guys should read the book. That's our book of the month. That we're going over right now, but yeah, he's amazing. The whole book is amazing.
Chanel, how long ago did you recommend this book to me? It was so long
ago. Last year.
And I've been saying for the longest time, it's on my list. I know I'm going to love it because Chanel gives the best personalized recommendations.
She does.
And then I read this book in less than a week, and it's all I think about right now. I'm still thinking about it. So,
yes.
And the book is beautiful.
I
the
stopped
typeset in the book
recommending it because I was like, well, she's never going to get around to this.
she's never going to read it.
But now we forced her to. I mean, the book is beautiful. The typeset's beautiful, but and I think Chanel agrees, and Ashley, the audiobook is incredible for this one too.
Yeah, like both of you said, there's a lot of French in it. It's set in Paris, so I'm sure that helps a lot to be able to actually hear how the like French is being pronounced and stuff. Yeah, that helps a lot. But I read this over Halloween week. I was traveling to Portland, Maine, and I was like, you know, it would be a good book to read while I'm in this creepy old town, and I was like going to Kenny Bunkport and stuff, and it was amazing. I just like sped through it, and then Stacy, you actually listened, you read it right away, right after, and then it took you a year.
A year later, I read it.
Also, I don't want to interrupt. Look at the actual.
Whoa.
It's like embossed into the cover. Without the jacket.
Creepy hands coming like you said onto the hardcover book. That's beautiful.
And then they wrote "Be wicked, stay wicked." God, it's such a vibe. They are such a vibe. My favorite vibe.
Very cool. And Stacy, do you want to spoil that we have a little surprise for guests in the next coming weeks?
Yes, on top of doing this incredible book and talking about it, we are so honored. We want to like throw in here that Jamison and Shea, they're actually going to come on the show so that we can interview them. Yeah. We're so pumped. We literally cannot wait.
Yeah, so stay tuned. We're obviously going to be covering this book. That'll be next week's episode, but in 2 weeks, like Stacey said, we're gonna be chatting it up with them. So we're super excited. So stay tuned.
I'm so excited.
Yeah. And then, like we said, there's also a sequel to this book coming out. So we'll get to hear, I'm sure, teensy little spoilers about the next book. So,
What's the name of the sequel again? Now I can't remember.
Because I Am the Dark.
Yeah, that sounds right. I Am the Dark.
Okay. So yay.
Amazing. Right. Should we get into it?
Yes. Jump into this.
So like Chanel said.
Sorry, Ashley. It's called I Am the Dark. The sequel's called I Am the Dark, The Answers When You Call.
Nice.
But I think they call it I Am the Dark, like for short.
Right. Yeah. Oh, I love it. Perfect. Thank you. So like Chanel and Stacy both have said, this month our book that we're covering is I Feed Her to the Beast and the Beast is Me, written by the fabulous Jamison Shea. And this is obviously not our book episode, but we're going to talk about some themes that I thought were pretty important in the book because this was my pick. Did I say that? This is my pick because I'm obsessed with this book right now and I can't stop thinking about it. So I thought that we could talk about this monstrous femininity that is, I feel like, a huge theme throughout the whole book because the main character, Lore, is a ballerina with the Paris dance company. But then also there's this dark fantasy of her pretty much making a deal with a god to become all powerful. So it's like a really interesting contrast, I think, of this darkness and then this super pink femininity that's kind of with it. What do you guys think?
I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the good, like you said, this real like contrast and yeah.
And then a lot of it with the main character, I feel like, is her struggling with it internally. So I didn't know, like, if you guys knew exactly, how do I want to say this? Why does Lore think that she's kind of this monster? Like, and let me think of how to phrase this. Sorry, I've been thinking about this in my mind. So when I read the book, I don't think that she's doing anything terrible considering the situation that she's in all the time and the choices she's having to make, but she's really hard on herself and she thinks that she's a monster. So you guys want to, I guess, talk about why do you think that she's a monster? Why do you think this main character thinks she's so much of a monster throughout the book?
I guess my thing is, I don't think she is either. Kind of like you said, I think she's just trying to survive. Like whether it's in ballet, it's in the real world, right? Like you see, she's like, she's poor. She doesn't really have a family. Kind of spoiler alerts for people. Or doesn't have a good relationship with her family. And then now she's, kind of in this really chaotic and mortal deal with this god. And so she's doing everything she can to survive. And so even though it might literally like take her life or lives of other people, she's doing the best she can. And so, yeah, I don't think she's a monster. I don't think she makes the best choices.
Yeah.
And sometimes she frustrates me, but I don't think she's like a monster. I wouldn't say she's a monster.
Yeah. I would have to, obviously I don't think she's a monster. I'm all about women's rights and their wrongs, but I think it, like Ashley was saying, it's so interesting to see the contrast of this very feminine, very white ballet, and then to automatically feel like an outsider, even though the character has the talent to be at the same level with these people. I think inherently it's probably ingrained that she's different. And so maybe that kind of leads to her to feel like powerless, which is a big theme in the book, which I love. And then causing her to like feel she has to try even harder than everyone else, even though she's already as good as them,
Yeah. Well,
maybe
better, really
better. So maybe just feeling different all at baseline just leads her to feel like wanting what people have or a little bit more, and working hard could make her feel like a monster, Yeah.
And like I said, like she has to fight to survive. And so she's going to do whatever it takes to get that. Which is a question I really want to ask Jamison. Like, I felt really like mad at the end of the book or throughout the book, because I'm like, why do you want the approval of these white girls? They're not even your friends, really. And Lore struggles the whole time to like get approval from them, even though she's better, or at least on their level. And like I said, she does everything to try to get it. And eventually she realizes like, I am better than them. Like I'm going to take what I want and no matter the cost. And I'm just like, and it's a societal thing, really. Like I think you said, Stacey, kind of like ingrained in her, but like, I'm like, oh, the whole time I just kept thinking like, oh my God, like who cares? Like, why do you care so much? Just like, be better. Just like stop waiting for their approval. Like, it was so annoying to just like she's so fixated on them instead of being like internally motivated. And yeah, I just was like wondering why like that was such a personality trait. But obviously everyone's made and stuff. But yeah, like I said, she kind of takes back her power and with the help of this beast, and so I felt like by the end of the book I was like, okay, gosh, took a while to get there.
It is also interesting too, all of these other characters in the book, for the most part, in the ballet, they're all so terrible. Like, what a terrible group of people is what I thought the whole time. Like,
truly.
Yes.
But I think part of the reason the main reason I love this book is, for me, it does this great job. The author is so amazing. Well, one, I just love books about women in general, but how women are supposed to be perceived a certain way. Like she's supposed to be this like really delicate, and she even says this in her mind a lot, that she's supposed to be this delicate ballerina, but then to be that, you have to be so physically strong and mentally in her case, because these people are terrible to her, to get to that kind of position, but you can't show it. And I think you guys are the same in the books that we've read in the past, and this is what else I wanted to talk about is how this plays into classic tropes that we've read in the past about these female characters. Like, we love a strong female character. We love, or me personally, love a strong female villain that has a great backstory type thing. So I didn't know if you guys maybe want to chat about some other great female characters that kind of fit into this whole thing, this whole overarching theme.
Yeah, like one that I immediately thought of was this book called Jackal, which kind of is in the thriller horror vibe as well, and it's about this Black girl woman who it's like the missing white woman syndrome. Her best friend, her daughter goes missing, and she's like a biracial little girl, and in their like small town in Pennsylvania, like all of these little Black girls start going missing, and like no one has been like looking for them for like years. Like the main Black girl, she starts like researching into it and stuff, and she's like, oh my gosh, like this has been like every few years little Black girls have been missing. And she's like, if this was like white girls, like everyone, it would have been like front page news and everything. And so she's the one that starts looking into it, and she gets caught up into the investigation, and she like starts unearthing like memories where she was almost taken when she was a girl in that town and stuff.
Oh wow.
But instead, like this other Black girl like got taken instead of her, and it's crazy. And like I won't like give it away, but like this jackal is like connected, this myth of this jackal in the woods is like connected to like how they end up disappearing and stuff. But like she is like this strong female character because she, like I said, gets caught up in the investigation and people start suspecting her, and so she's like she has to like put up this front and being like, I'm just trying to help, like why would I take my friend's kid, like all this stuff. Like I said, her memories start coming back, and she's like, oh my gosh, like was I a part of this, like all this stuff. And it's really good. Like I said, if you like I Feed Her to the Beast, you would like this, because like I said, there's like mythical horror into this like real world scenario kind of thing. And so yeah, it reminded me of this book as well. It's really good. And so yeah.
What was the book called again? I missed it in the beginning.
It's called Jackal.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds really good.
The audiobook's really good as well, because it's a dual point of view. You get the main girl, and then you get the jackal, like his.
Ooh. I love books written like that.
It's really good.
I think I remember this. You posted it on your book account, right?
Yeah.
When you read it? Yeah. I remember here.
It was really good. So yeah, that was a really good one. The other one, you were talking about female villains, and Six Crimson Cranes is a really good, it's like a Chinese mythology book that's based off of like Cinderella. And the main girl, she gets a curse put on her, and her six brothers, and the brothers get turned into cranes. And she gets the curse put on her by her evil stepmother. And so you're like, oh my gosh, like this is so terrible. She has to like make her way through the whole kingdom to try to like get this curse breaking off of her and all this stuff. And like you like hate the evil stepmother, and like you really like the prince guy. You're like, oh my gosh, like anyway. Literally the curse on her, she has like a bowl on her head, and she she like has to live with this bowl, and like no one knows who she is, and this like
all the time.
Yeah, that's her curse, and her brother's curse is that they're cranes.
I'd rather be a crane.
I know, by day they're cranes, and then by night they turn back into guys, and like anyway. And you're like, I fucking hate this stepmother, and then you find out like the truth about the stepmother, and you're like, literally I gasped. I was like,
Gas.
And so the stepmother has a book, like her the prequel is the stepmother's book, and it's her story about how she became like evil. And I'm so excited to read it because she's not who you think she is, the stepmother. Like, and it's so good. I don't want to spoil it because it's so freaking good. So yeah, but yeah, and then like I said, the prince, he like still is super nice to the girl with the bowl on her head, even though she has a bowl on her head.
What an interesting curse.
I know.
How annoying.
So annoying. And she has magic and stuff. So like, but because she has a bowl on her head, she can't do magic. So so yeah, anyway, there's dragons and stuff. It's really good. But my favorite character was the stepmother because you hated her the entire book. And then the last like quarter of the book, you get her story. And I was like, that's it. And then I found out there was a book with her story, and I'm like dying to read it. So anyway, yeah.
I love that.
That's awesome.
So, I gasped. If Chanel's gasping out loud, we got
it's good.
So good. So good. I'm like, how do you make me hate this lady? And now all I want to do is read about like how she became so evil, because like what the heck. So yeah,
that's the best.
Yeah, it is the best.
Literally, I want to get her origin story. So yeah. Anyway, okay, those are my two.
Love it. You want to go next, Stacey, or do you want me to go?
I have one that instantly came to mind, which we were talking about earlier offline, was The Weight of Blood. I think that's like a really good example of it's the same. I don't want to give too much away because I think there's a chance we'll talk about this book in the future, but but basically it's a Carrie retelling, and it's about a woman, a young girl who's biracial in a really small southern racist town, and it's a thriller horror, like all mixed in together, some supernatural thrown in there, but it's the same thing where it's about a woman who basically is pushed into situations where you have to be powerful, good or bad, and the things that can come with it. It's so good. That's one too where the audiobook is great, because a lot of the book, I know you guys listen to it too, the book goes from different people's point of view, and then from like newspaper clippings, and like a podcast talks about it, so it's really cool to get it from that point of view. So that was the first one I thought of, was The Weight of Blood. And then whenever I think of like a female strong character who could be misunderstood or like looks like a villain, but you understand why they do it, I instantly think of Gone Girl.
Yeah.
Ugh, the book. That's one of my favorite books.
Yeah. Both of those books, like you said, like they seem like they're the villains, but you're like, oh, well, you were just pushed to the brink,
literally.
Like,
yeah.
Both of those, you're like, oh, okay.
I will die on that hill that Amy from Gone Girl was not the problem. Everybody else was the problem.
Yeah.
I swear.
And speaking of audiobooks, that Gone Girl audiobook was such a good, both of those were good audiobooks, but I loved Gone Girl's audiobook.
I haven't listened to the audiobook. Maybe it is time for a re-listen to that book. Maybe I'll do the audiobook then for it.
But talk about gasping. That book, I mean, I read it years ago. I can still picture when I got to the part and I was like, oh, you know what part I'm talking about. I mean, I'm sure everyone knows the book is older or whatever. And of course the movie's great too, but I can really remember reading that book, and the like plot twist came halfway through, obviously. And I was like, what the fuck?
Yes. It was so good. Oh my God.
Again, it's like these expectations put on women, and then to act a certain way in certain situations. And so I just love it when they snap and they're like, you know what, I'm not acting this way. So get ready. Stacey, the one that I thought of almost immediately, and I'm surprised you didn't say anything, was Circe by Madeline Miller.
I know.
Which is the story of the first witch. Technically, isn't that how they the author kind of describes it?
She's the first witch in Greek mythology. Yeah,
it is. And it's not a super long book, but you get Circe's whole like life story in it. And it's so interesting to see her as like a child and then into like this adulthood and how she handles everything. And she turns men into pigs, and that's all you need to know, that this book is amazing. I feel like
incredible.
I mean, I feel like that book, and like you can correct me if I'm wrong, isn't like super dark like some of these other, I guess, books get, but still, she's a really powerful woman that's held to like certain expectations, and she goes against it and like ends up making her whole life something different than what's expected from her. And I love it.
It's probably my favorite book, but Ashley's right. Like, it's the other thing where women get pushed into narratives where sometimes they come across as like a villain or evil, which in Greek mythology a lot with like her turning men into pigs and all this is in a negative light. And then when you get a story and you get more details and their background, it's like, wow, sometimes you get pushed into these choices, and what chance did these people have but to react in this way when so many cruel things happen to you, especially as a woman? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Can we pause real quick? I'll be right back. 1 second. My headphones are gonna die. Hold on.
Oh. She's funny. Don't worry, I'll edit out the dead air. Are you doing anything today besides just driving home? Oh my God. I love her so much.
He hates it.
I know. That's why I love her so much. I'm just gonna love her.
It's a grumpy cat.
I saw this TikTok and I thought of you because it was like this person that was like, look at my sweet little new kitten I got. And it was like 2 years later, and the cat was bigger than Mia. Like, and it was just sitting on top of this trash can, staring at its owner, like so grumpy. It was like, so funny.
Not a sweet cat.
This is not a sweet cat.
Yeah.
I gotta wake up.
Yeah, get some coffee.
I know. I had 1 cup.
I know. I missed her so much. I just raced home from the airport and I was like, I'm spending the night at your house, Mom.
Oh, Mia.
Mia, what are you doing? So yeah, we've just been chilling here.
That's the hardest part about being gone, is your pets.
Yeah, not the kids.
Not the kids. Yeah, me and Skylar are supposed to be taking some trip in November to see like his family, and they're wanting us to stay for like 10 days or something because it falls on a holiday and I'll have off work. And I'm like, I'm not gonna. I was like, it's one thing if one of us is gone for a long time and the other person is here. I was like, we both can't be away from the dogs for like 10 days.
Expensive.
Yeah, I was like, it ain't happening.
Yeah. Stacy.
Yes, ma'am.
Look.
Mia.
Look how happy she is.
Look how old school I'm getting.
I can't believe you would have headphones like that.
I just had to find them in the bottom of my drawer.
Chanel, were you gonna say something? I feel like you're getting ready to say something a minute ago.
I didn't mean to like ruin the mood. Sorry.
Way to go, Stacy. No, I'm just kidding.
Remember.
There is another female character I wanted to talk about, and I haven't read the actual book, but I've seen the musical, and the movie is coming out next year, so it would be good to talk about it. Is Alphaba from Wicked.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that's almost, to me, that is the most classic kind of like trope of this that I could find, of like a witch or this female character that really is not the problem, but then for some reason is portrayed as the biggest problem out of everything. And I just felt like Wicked did such a nice job of that character development, and you just falling in love with this character. And you read the actual book though, didn't you, Stacy?
Yeah, I think I read them in high school, so it was a long time ago. I think there's 3 of them. I think 3 or 4. It's a series, but they're excellent. It's excellent.
Yeah.
But yes, it's very much she's different. She looks different than everyone else. And so they don't think that she can be powerful. They don't take her seriously. These things happen to her. And it's like, how else? This whole thing is like, it makes you think, how else is she supposed to react to these women supposed to react in these situations? Are they supposed to lay down and take it? Or are they going to stand up and be powerful?
Yeah. That's, I mean, and also just like, because I was talking to my dad about this, like just getting another perspective. Because I'm like, truly, like from Dorothy's perspective, yeah, she looked evil. She seemed evil.
Yeah.
But I'm like, okay, because I was arguing this with my dad. I'm like, okay, yeah, her sister died. You took her sister's shoes and went off. And like, how else was she supposed to react? How else was she like, I'm like, and she's being told by the whole kingdom that she's evil and that she's bad. Like, I'm like, what? Like, how? Like, you know what I mean? I'm like, okay, so from her perspective, I'm like, Dorothy seems evil. Dorothy, like, those were her shoes from her sister that she was supposed to get. Like, you know what I mean? So I'm like literally just spinning the camera and seeing it from someone else's point of view. I'm like, you change everything. You change the perspective. You change how she's being viewed. And yeah, so it's my dad's like, oh yeah, like that's kind of makes like
I love it.
You know, like you can make anyone seem evil if you just like hear their point of view or someone else's point of view. So yeah.
You know, Chanel, the way you just said that, which is amazing. It made me think actually, and I won't get into it too much because this would be more of like a book episode thing, but this I Feed Her to the Beast kind of does this twice with two characters. It does it with the main character Lore, but then also with and now I'm blanking on her name. It's not Jocelyn. What is Josephine? It's a smaller, it's not I don't want to say it's not fleshed out because it is fleshed out because this author is so amazing and they give so much so quickly on a character. But this also happens, I feel like you get a perspective of the way that these other ballerinas are viewing this certain girl. And then when you actually see it more from her perspective later, it's just really interesting to me. Yeah. So the way you said that, Chanel, made me think of it. This author really does this twice in this book about how these female characters are being viewed and then why they're actually doing the things that they're doing.
Yeah. They're like reasoning behind it. Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. Very interesting. Yay.
So, I mean, yeah, that's really all that I just wanted to talk about all the women and how powerful they all are this episode. So,
yeah.
Cool. This is a good appetizer for the main course later.
Yes. Yay.
So I don't know if you guys have any final thoughts about that or anything, or we can wrap it up, whatever you guys want to do.
Yeah, let's do some kudos.
Yeah, I'll go first. I want to kudos Ashley and Tegan because they came and watched Ivy for me so I could have a night out without the baby. And it was so great. So thank you so much. Because it takes a village and she's a chunky thing. So, but always kudos to you two, because you guys are my loves. And even though I was tired, I was pumped this morning that we were going to get to talk, and I've been looking forward to it. So I love you guys.
I love you.
I know that's what I was going to say. Always, you guys. Love talking to you guys. But I'm going to give a kudos to my parents because I was just out of town for work. So they watched my little kitty cat, my big cat.
She's very petite.
Very petite. So yes, I want to thank them because it's really nice. Like I was talking with Ashley, to know that, you know, your animals are safe when you're gone. So yeah. So thanks, Mom and Dad. And yeah, kudos to them.
So I have two kudos. One being to Tegan, our friend Tegan, and my mom, because like Ceci said, I was babysitting yesterday, but Tegan and my mom both came over while I was babysitting to help. And it took 3 of us to do Stacy's job, basically, to keep this child alive.
Wow, Stacy, wow. That's kudos to you, man.
Yeah. But it was nice to just spend time with them. And my mom brought my other nephew over and we all just kind of hung out, and we don't get to, everybody's so busy right now, we don't get to hang out like that. So it was just a really fun day yesterday with family. And then my other kudos is for Chanel, because last weekend, it was last weekend, she made this really fancy dinner party for me and Stacy and another friend of ours, Jen. When I tell you, the ambience was amazing. It felt like a fancy French restaurant. She had candlesticks that me and Chanel found together, but candlesticks lit and like a really fancy gravy boat, and the food was amazing. And so good. I just loved it. It was such a good time. Chanel, you're such a good host, and kudos. And then also
perfect vibe.
It was amazing. And then also Stacy, because you're amazing too, and you do a job that I could never do. So I love you guys. I love you guys.
Love you.
You want to lead us out, Stace?
Okay, guys. Have a good week. We're so pumped for you to see the future episodes coming out. Next week's episode about the book. We get to interview the author. Can't wait to chat with Jamison Shea. So make sure you have a good week and read what you like.
Bye. Oh, wait.